everybody. So this morning we actually have an Xbox in, and it is having a problem with the DVD drive not opening. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this and see if that's still a problem for it. And if it is, we will see if we can fix it up. We'll go ahead and just start by pressing the eject button. You can definitely hear that it's trying to do something, but it just can't successfully eject. So it definitely seems like there's something holding it up in there. So for this Xbox, I kind of have an idea of what it's going to be already. So I ordered some new bands for it. I guess they're not bands, they're belts for the optical drive. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the power on this guy. And we're going to dig into taking this thing apart and seeing exactly what's going on with that optical drive and what we can do to fix it up. So first of all, we're going to start by flipping the Xbox over. Now it looks like this thing has actually already been worked on before, because we've got the rubber feeder missing on the bottom of it. We've got this screw hole is poked, and so is that one. So it's going to make it a little easier for us to access everything, which, no arguments from me. I'm totally okay with that. Just going to see if I have the proper size bit here to get started. And if I need to go away from my LTT screwdriver to a different one for this, because I have some Torx bits and stuff, but I don't have all of them currently. Like, they're kind of scattered throughout my office, but the LTT screwdriver will definitely make this process easier. So, as these screws are long and cumbersome. Like I said, they're pretty long, so that's a good size screw right there. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get the other ones out here. This bit does seem to be functioning for it, so get it really tight in here too. Wow. Challenge is to keep them all together, because these big screws like to roll around. So we have 6 screws in total. Goodness. That happens sometimes. This screwdriver is a little top heavy and not exactly the most grippy material for the handle. Just a shiny plastic, so. But it's not damaging the Xbox, and that's what's really important for this. Really giving my wrist a good workout. These are really, and I don't think these are supposed to really be like this, but they're very tight in here. Pretty snug. There's a fair bit of resistance, so you notice I'm struggling a little bit. But then you just flip it over, kind of pop one side up here. The cover does pop off. I swear it. It's obviously been a while since it's been popped off. Trying to be gentle with it, because I don't really want to wrench on anything here. There we go. Alright, and so the cover of your Xbox will just lift off like so it's this side over here that's really stuck. Holy cow. Non-disc tray side is doing just fine, but the disc tray side is... There we go. Very stuck. Okay. So now I've got the Xbox facing me, so I'll flip it around here so you can see exactly what's going on. So obviously we have our Western Digital drive here. We're going to have to just unhook this in order to be able to access this guy and take it out. There are a couple of screws that hold this in, and I have to pull those as well, so I will get on that. But outside of that, it's really not too tough. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove this drive, or not remove it completely, but enough so that I can get the DVD drive out, and we can get that opened up and hopefully fixed. And it looks like this bit might be just a little bit too big. But I don't know that I have any smaller Torx bits that I can really use for this. I'm going to have to switch over to my more precision screwdriver. That was my shaft extension that just fell on the floor. Head is if I'm not big enough. Let's go for this one here. There we go. So the screws in here aren't terrible. These are just a couple turn, they're little brass colored screws. But I do have to pull them in order to actually be able to access anything. So there's a fair bit of dust in here, so while I have the DVD drive open later, I'm also going to be doing a little bit of cleaning on this guy because it probably needs it. Here. Okay, I believe, nope, we have one more screw down here, and you have to flex the cover a little bit to access some of these, but it's really annoying, but it's not like you can break it. It's intentionally flimsy so that you can access it. So we'll pull the IDE cable out of the drive here, and then I'm gonna double check the back side here, make sure there's no screws I need to take out. From this perspective, I think we're good. So I should be able to go ahead and lift the hard drive up just enough to pull this out of here. Fully. Hopefully. There we go. And I'll just kind of set the hard drive back down in there. Or let it continue to sit wherever it wants to, whatever. So remove the IDE cable from the back of the DVD drive, along with the power cable. The power cable is going to be the toughest part because it feels like I'm going to rip the, I don't want to rip the leads out of it. But I didn't. I was successful in that as well. So, and then the DVD drive should just lift right out of here, I would imagine. A little bit of there's a couple tabs or whatever that hold it in somewhat, but I'm going to set the DVD drive down there. And we'll scoot the Xbox off to the side here for a minute to an area where you guys can't see it because it's not really super important. And then we'll go back to the LTT driver and we'll get this guy open up and see exactly what we're dealing with here. So we got 4 screws, again, kind of brass colored. here along the bottom. And this should just lift right off. So kind of do a little bit of visual inspection here to see what we're dealing with. And I know we've got a belt in here somewhere that we need to replace. I'll go ahead and flip this over and take the top cover off as well. It might be on that top side where that belt needs replacement. And then there's this little blue thing right down here. You push that to kind of eject the drive. It's one of those things that you would normally like slide a paper clip into from the outside. Oh yeah, so our band, if you can see, actually, this is really helpful to know. The band is completely disconnected at this point, and that's the entire reason that this isn't functioning at all for my customer. So before I take it out, I'm going to snap a photo so you can see what was going on with the drive. With that original Xbox band in there. Definitely broken. Okay. So I'm going to pull this out just as it is, but there you go. That's the entire reason that it didn't function, because the band was just totally broken. So that's good to know. This does have a lot of dust and debris inside of it, which is going to cause some eventual issues. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little busy cleaning this out too. I'm just going to take some canned air and blow it out. Grab that real quick. And I'm going to hold it over here to do so, just because I've got screws and things. I'm going to try and blow off some of the bunch of dust caught in these mechanisms here. So really important to make sure that they operate smoothly. Okay. That canned air set aside. So like I said, I've got new bands for this, so it's not a huge deal to have to replace it, because we kind of already assumed that was the problem, but didn't know for certain. So the first thing I'm going to do is wrap it around here. And I'm not really sure where else it's supposed to wrap around. I'm thinking that it's actually supposed to go from, yeah, that looks like the drive mechanism. So I'm just kind of spinning that so that it lands a little bit on there. And then we've got that applied. So now that's running really smooth. So now that the band is restored to its proper location, it's dusted out pretty well, I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. I'm going to close this drive. We're going to put the cover back on it. Maybe. There we go. Flip it back over, make sure all of our ribbon cables are still seated nice. They appear to be. Grab the bottom drive cover. Looks like it would orient this way based on the holes. And put the LTT bit back this direction. Screw this back together. Maybe. Sometimes it's hard to get this this thing to focus and get right in where you need it to go. There we go. Screw that back in. Last one. And we can put the DVD drive back in and test it before we put the Xbox all back together. Alright, so our DVD drive is put back together that way. And slide it back into this drive tray here. Clicks into place beautifully. I'll pull the Xbox back over here. And again, while I'm in here, I think I'm just going to go ahead and blow this out. The Xbox is pretty gross too. Just dusty inside. It happens. It's not anybody's fault. Nobody opens up their Xboxes specifically to clean them out, so. Alright. It's cleaned up, so we'll go ahead and grab the DVD drive. Replace the power connection to it here. And then I'll replace the data connection. Go ahead and lift up the hard drive, make some room for it to fit down in there. Okay, lower the hard drive back into position, which there should be a slight overlap from the hard drive to the Xbox. I'll go ahead and plug the data cable back into the hard drive. A little tricky. Nothing too crazy, but it's a little tricky. Okay. All right. So now that we're good on that, let's go ahead and plug the Xbox back in. I'm going to leave the cover off here just so I can see what's up. And let's try just ejecting that that DVD drive, see if it works. Okay, so it's definitely trying. Are we caught on something though? Ah, I wasn't seated in all the way. It was up a little bit on this side. Let's try one more time here. There we go. Beautiful. Now that's working. All right. Do it a couple more times. Just to show that we can. This is a good repair. This one's all done. So now that that's all taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and slap this cover back on the Xbox. Actually, I'm going to unplug it first here before I start meddling with screws and such. Shoves right back down into place there. No problem. Oh, you know what? One thing I forgot to do that I need to do before I get ahead of myself, which I apparently enjoy doing a lot. I need to screw these two drives back into place. So, sorry for that. A little overzealous sometimes, but nothing I can't correct with a simple redrive of a few brass screws here. Okay. 2 left, and they are just for the DVD drive after this last hard drive screw goes in. I've got one more screw to place here. Front right corner of the DVD drive. That was the ticket. Okay. Now we're ready to put the cover back on. Probably wouldn't have affected too much, but I definitely want to give the customer back everything they brought me, so. And flip it over. I'll get my Torx driver back in to the LTT screwdriver here. Go ahead and place our 6 screws back in, because they should just slide right down in there. Whew, got a little dusty on that take. Alright, now we'll go ahead and just get these screwed back in. Like I said, they're a little tight before, so just tightening them back up to the point where they were. Almost missed the middle one up front here. Can't be doing that. Okay, and the last screw here. And since we got it all closed up, let's plug it in and test for good measure just one more time. Big button. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.